At Maplewood High, life was always buzzing with activity. It was a place where friendships were forged, dreams were pursued, and love stories began. Among the students, two stood out in their own unique ways, Rohan and Aisha. Rohan was the epitome of a shy, reserved boy. He kept to himself, never seeking the spotlight, and found solace in the quiet corners of the school library. He loved reading, particularly fantasy novels, where he could escape into worlds far removed from his own. Rohan was content in his solitude, never feeling the need to be the center of attention. Aisha, on the other hand, was the opposite. She was the girl who made friends with everyone, the one who led the school pep rallies, and the one who always had a smile on her face. Aisha's energy was infectious. She had a way of brightening up any room she entered. She was a whirlwind of laughter, excitement, and charm, making her one of the most popular girls in school. Despite their differences, Aisha had always noticed Rohan. She found his quiet demeanor intriguing and often wondered what thoughts were hidden behind his contemplative eyes. While others might overlook someone as quiet as Rohan, Aisha was drawn to him. She admired his intelligence, his kindness, and the way he seemed to be in his own little world. One day, during a group project for their English class, fate brought them together. Their teacher, Mrs. Sharma, paired them up to work on a presentation about classic literature. Aisha was thrilled. It was the perfect opportunity to get to know Rohan better. As they worked on the project, Aisha found herself falling for Rohan. She was captivated by his depth, the way he spoke passionately about the characters in their book, and how he always listened carefully to her ideas, even when they were a bit wild. Rohan's shy nature only made him more endearing to Aisha. He was unlike anyone she had ever known. Aisha couldn't help but notice how Rohan's eyes would light up when he talked about the things he loved, how his smile, though rare, was genuine and warm. She found herself thinking about him constantly, daydreaming about the way he would brush his hair out of his eyes or the way he would blush when she teased him. It wasn't long before Aisha realized that she was falling in love with Rohan, and it both excited and terrified her. One afternoon, as they sat in the library working on their project, Aisha decided to take a chance. She looked at Rohan, who was engrossed in his notes, and took a deep breath. "Rohan," she said, her voice softer than usual, "can I tell you something?" Rohan looked up, slightly startled by the change in her tone. "Sure, Aisha. What is it?" She hesitated for a moment, her heart pounding in her chest. "I know this might come as a surprise, but I really like you. I've liked you for a while now." Rohan's eyes widened in shock. He wasn't sure if he had heard her correctly. Aisha, the girl who could have anyone she wanted, liked him? It didn't seem possible. "Why me?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Aisha smiled, reaching out to gently touch his hand. "Because you're kind, thoughtful, and so incredibly smart. You're different from everyone else, Rohan, and that's what makes you special. I've never met anyone like you, and I don't want to let this chance slip away." Rohan was speechless. He had admired Aisha from afar, thinking she was someone he could never be close to, let alone someone who could ever feel the same way about him. His mind raced with 1,000 thoughts, but all he could see was Aisha's hopeful smile, her eyes filled with sincerity. After what felt like an eternity, Rohan finally spoke, his voice trembling with emotion. I like you too, Aisha. I've just always been too afraid to say anything. I never thought someone like you could ever feel the same way about someone like me." Aisha's heart swelled with joy as she heard his words. She leaned in closer, her smile growing wider. "Well, you don't have to be afraid anymore. We can figure this out together." From that day forward, their relationship blossomed. Aisha's vibrant personality brought Rohan out of his shell, and Rohan's calm presence grounded Aisha, giving her a sense of peace she hadn't known before. They spent their days laughing, talking, and discovering new things about each other, their love growing stronger with each passing moment. Though they were an unlikely pair, they balanced each other perfectly. Aisha's energy and Rohan's quiet strength made them a couple that others admired. And as they walked through the halls of Maplewood High, hand in hand, they knew that they had found something truly special. Their love story was one of courage, where an energetic girl took the first step to show a shy boy that he was worthy of love. And in doing so, they found a happiness that neither of them had ever imagined.